Welcome back to predicting NFL records. We are now moving on to the NFC, starting with the Philadelphia Eagles going 13-4. We think they'll be strong contenders for the playoffs again this year because of their quarterback Jalen Hurts, who had 3,858 passing yards, adding to his career total of 11,764. I mean, that's just crazy. What else do you have about this team?
I only got to say that their newly acquired running back Shaquem Barkley, who had 962,000 rushing yards.
That's crazy. Next, we have the Dallas Cowboys going 8-9. Even though they are America's team, we think they will choke without even making the playoffs. Dak Prescott last year had 4,516 passing yards, but has proven over the years that he cannot lock in during big moments. On the other hand, CeeDee Lamb can clutch up in big moments because he had 110 receiving yards and an average of 12.2 yards per catch in their playoff game against the Green Bay Packers. Third to last, we had the New York Giants going 9-8. Even with New York's Italian background, new quarterback Tommy DeVito can't get going with only a 64% passing completion and only 8 touchdowns. Yeah, well, granted, he also came in half the season, but still, you should still have better than 64 if you come in halfway through the season. You're only playing like maybe a total of 6 games. Last week, the Washington Commanders going 6-11. We think that the Commanders will have 2 more wins than they did in 2023 with their quarterback Sam Howell, who recently got traded to the Seattle Seahawks. So right now, it is just up in the air on who their starting quarterback will be next year. Moving on to the NFC North, we have the Detroit Lions going 13-4. Starting with the Detroit Lions coming off a historic season, ending their 32-year playoff drought, and with their starting quarterback Jared Goff, who had 4,575 passing yards. That's just crazy. Second, we have the Chicago Bears going 6-11. We think they will lose one more game than they did last year because they're getting possibly a new face of the franchise, Caleb Williams, and we don't think that he's fully ready for the NFL. Also, Justin Fields could be traded, and I think he actually has been traded to the Steelers over the weekend. Third, in the NFC North, we have the Green Bay Packers going 10-7. We all know that Lambeau Field is the coldest in the NFL, just like this record we are predicting this year for the Packers. Jordan Love coming off his first season as starting quarterback with 4,159 passing yards. I mean, he's been in the league, I think, for what, 3-4 years? Being this, I think, helping him go under Aaron Rodgers for like 2-3 seasons, I think that's definitely helped him. Last in the NFC North, we have the Minnesota Vikings going 11-6. Orlando, what do you have about this team?
If you remember, the Vikings had a lot of up and downs last year with Kirk Cousins getting his season-ending injury, who has been traded to the Atlanta Falcons. But then we had a huge trade announcement with Just Dove coming from Arizona and ending his season record of 2,464 yards, and the running back Cam Akers, who had 167 rushing yards, and to his career total of 1,581 rushing yards.
I agree. The next division we are doing is the NFC South. First, with the Atlanta Falcons, they're going to go 8-9. The Atlanta Falcons will win one more game than they did this past season and probably will be in a pretty good spot for the playoffs. What else do you have about them?
I mean, the NFC South is the worst division in the league by a landslide. And
Yeah.
they have just acquired Kirk Cousins from the Vikings.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to give them a pretty good advantage.
Yeah. Next, we have the Carolina Panthers. They're going to go 4-13. We are predicting that the Panthers will be better than this past season, but not good enough to make the playoffs. I mean, they thought they were drafting their franchise quarterback of the century, Bryce Young, who had only 2,877, and compared to his other rookie quarterbacks it was in his draft class, like CJ Stroud, I think had like 3,000. I mean, didn't live up to the name.
Yeah.
Third, we have the New Orleans Saints going 13-4. The Saints are coming off an amazing season, ending first in the NFC South, which isn't really that hard to do, but I mean, ending first in any division, I mean, is a good accomplishment, I guess.
Yeah.
Last, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going 10-7. Gunnar, what do you have about this team?
I mean, the Bucks are coming off a pretty good season, beating the Eagles, and they just re-signed Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield, who had 4,000 passing yards, and they're trying to get back to the glory days of Tom Brady.
Yeah, I agree. Our last division is the NFC West. Starting with the Arizona Cardinals, they're going to go 5-12. The Cardinals are pretty active in the trading block, getting quarterback from Atlanta and a wide receiver also from Atlanta who had 352 rushing yards or catching yards.
Second, we have the San Francisco 49ers going 13-4. We think that going to the Super Bowl last year is definitely going to help all of the younger players, especially Brock Purdy, who had 255 yards passing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I definitely think that it's going to help them rebuild and see what they need to do whenever they want to try to get back. Third, we have the Los Angeles Rams going 10-7. They'll have the same record as last year and probably be a wild card team with their veteran quarterback Stafford, who had 3,965 passing yards and could be a powerful team this year. I mean, I think they will be, especially. I mean, they have a lot of fame in there right now in Los Angeles. I mean, Los Angeles is known for that, but
Yeah.
I think they'll have a good fan base this year. Last, we have the Seattle Seahawks going 7-10. We think they'll be worse than last year because they lost their star defensive back, Bobby Wagner, because of a trade, which I think is just a horrible decision. I mean,
Honestly.
he's been awesome for this team, and just to trade him away for, I think they only got a draft pick, and I think, and it wasn't even this year's draft. I think it was like later down the road. So, hope you come back for the NFL playoff predictions, which we'll probably do maybe the next video you see. We'll find out.
Yeah.